Now, the very serious matter, the charges against Stephen Milne, did St Kilda consult the AFL before deciding that he wouldn't play?
Yes, they did. There was a meeting the day the charges were laid, Neil, that involved the St Kilda Football Club, the Players Association, his management and AFL representatives, and they advised us that they were having a board meeting that night, which subsequently was resumed the following day, and the board of the St Kilda Football Club made their decision, taking all things into account now.
You agree with it?
Yes, we do. In fact, our commission met a couple of nights ago on a phone hookup with members of the management team, and we discussed the issue. It's a very complex issue, and a very, very serious one. And on balance, we think that the St Kilda board acted appropriately, Neil. On balance, they got it right. And I think in the coolness of day, I think Stephen Milne acknowledges now that they got it right.
Obviously, Stephen Milne is entitled to be considered innocent until proven otherwise. That's a point I keep reinforcing. If he were to be convicted, would he be allowed to play again?
Well, if he was convicted, and I gather by the fact that he was saying he was convicted and he was sentenced, hypothetically, well, he wouldn't be playing until such time as he was out of jail, Neil, if that's what happened. Yeah. But I mean, we have a record of people. We've got Andrew Cracker playing who's been in jail. He's entitled to resume his career. I mean, in this case, Neil, Stephen Milne is 33 years of age. So I don't think that is a scenario that we've contemplated.
Police have handled this badly. I mean, they admitted that to me. This should really have been resolved one way or another 9 years ago.
Well, they've said that, Neil. They've said that themselves. They've acknowledged that. I think out of respect for the woman in this particular instance, and we should be very sensitive, there is a woman involved here, Neil, who feels aggrieved, and she has agreed with the charges being laid. That it's very unfortunate this time lapse, particularly for her, particularly for Stephen Milne, for all people concerned. Having said that, though, in some ways, it is probably, Neil, on balance, and it's the AFL Commission's view that we welcome the opportunity for this to be heard by the right process through the system that is in place, and that's the judicial system, and that no player is above the law. And we all agree with this notion. There's this very important belief of the presumption of innocence, and that all people have got the opportunity to have their case heard.
Has the AFL had any dealings with the alleged victim?
Back in 2004, Neil, if you cast your mind back that far, it was as a result of this particular case that the AFL instigated over the course of the following 12 months our respect and responsibility policy. And we then sought advice from experts, experts involved through the Victoria Police, experts involved with the University of Melbourne who helped us in this area, QCs. We got people who have been involved in sexual assaults, victims of sexual assault, and we put together the respect and responsibility policy. And my recollection was that we did have contact with the victim back then.